somebody signed up for the Goddess Body Project. Obviously, it's a 3-month program, 90 days, and they think that their whole everything is going to change in 90 days. So that just goes to show, like, a lot of these women have done more than one round of the Goddess Body Project because they get those basics knocked down, and then they get the next thing that needs to get knocked down, and then they continue. And it is the evolution of a lifestyle that I don't think people actually realize needs to happen.
Damn, that was a mic drop. If you're struggling to get consistent with your training and your diet, this is the episode for you. I am spending an hour with my bestie, Coach Glitter. We are going to share our current status in our fat loss phases as we're getting ready for the Angel Competition Bikini fashion show. And what we're going to share with you is likely going to shock you. We are not doing hardcore tactics in order to get ready for this fashion show. And spoiler alert, what we're doing is exactly what we tell our clients to do. So join us for an intimate chat as we discuss some fun things with my recent move to Las Vegas. So if you're new here, you'll get to know a little bit about me. Hopefully you like and subscribe. I would love to have some new YouTube friends. But if you are a junkie, you are a boss bitch junkie or a Venus lover, you are going to enjoy this episode where we talk candidly about some of our clients and some things that they're experiencing right now, as well as our own journeys into our fat loss phase. So enjoy. Today, we're going to talk about Vegas things. So I have a list of a lot of local Vegas things that are really cool. Some things that I would pass on if people are coming into Vegas as tourists, and give you my opinions. And then we're going to talk a little bit about where we're at with our fat loss phase, because Amanda and I are both doing the Angel Competition's Bikini fashion show at the Mr. Olympia on October 12th. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. So we'll share. Yeah, it is a lot. So we will share where our fat loss is at the current moment at the end. So yes, we are going to gatekeep that for just a second because we want you to get to know us a little bit better, especially if you're new to the podcast or you're new to our YouTube, our jazz hands over here on YouTube. We want to share with you guys a little bit about our journey as far as it goes from bodybuilding to where we're at in the Angel Competition Bikini fashion show. But we want to talk about some fun things too. We know we have some fans who've been dying for us to bring a little bit of an update. So where shall we dive in? And for those of you that don't know Coach Glitter, I don't know how you wouldn't know her, but welcome, Coach Glitter. We are podcasting from afar now that we don't.
Afar. Yeah,
afar.
That's exactly where we should start. Remember, you moved to Vegas.
I did. I moved to Vegas. That was, it was a big deal.
That was fun, actually. I mean, I feel like you had 3 weeks to get your life in a box and move it to Nevada.
I don't even know how I did that, but somehow I did.
We did a great job. Absolutely.
And now I'm here. Yes. Now I'm here. And I feel like I'll probably do like I moved to Vegas podcast because I haven't done that yet. And it's like people are asking.
You know how long you've been there?
2 months?
July, August.
Oh, it's September.
Now September.
Oh, yeah. I've been here 3 months.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
So that was fun. We carpooled your car to Vegas that day because the movers had all your stuff in the car. So that was a fun little road trip.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was great. We actually, I don't know if well, of course you remember, but I was going through my phone, like deleting stuff. Usually if I'm on the plane and I don't have Wi-Fi, I delete like old photos and I just clean up my photos and stuff. And I found some recordings of us in the car discussing some things.
After dark things.
Yeah. So for those that haven't really explored our content, we were doing an After Dark series, which is a lot racier, a bit more adult in nature. We're talking about intimacy, sex, and all those fun things. So I did find some unhinged stuff where we were like just being juicy and stuff.
Well, the funny thing about that is like, as that conversation started, I was like, we need to make sure that we have this for later. So basically I just turned my phone on record and it was like facing the roof or facing down in the car. And then we were just chatting. So it was me, you, and almost Dr. Crystal. You guys don't know her. She's our therapist and also our bestie. And that was a fun conversations in there. So
It was. Yeah. So the content there wasn't quite ready for the public consumption.
not yet. However, when we went, right, I stayed for a week. And over that week, as you were moving in, when we had no furniture until the next day, I was there, Crystal was there, Alicia was there, Tara came into town at one point, and that was just the girliest girl week we could have had.
It was. It was super fun. And we all run at different speeds at different times. And so it was like a collective of stuff was going on. Yeah, it was great. It was fun to just like have my friends like come out and support my move. I mean, how could you not be supportive of your bestie moving to Las Vegas?
Of not at all. I was like, oh, okay, when are we going? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Okay, so where shall we take this next? I feel like there's so many different segues we can go. I mean, I have a laundry list of things. Yeah, you look ready. I have a question.
So you, I pick
Mhm.
me. So when we were in Vegas, right, we did all the Vegas things. Even at some point, other people were there as well. But you were only there for that week. And then you came home because Venus Fitness Studio had its 17th birthday party.
Yes,
Your
that is true.
business,
My business.
17 years.
Yeah, so yeah, I moved here. The move like had to happen time-wise because like how my lease was up there and how everything panned out. And so we had the Venus birthday party planned for months, but the move just kind of was like it was a decision in the making. We'll just say that. Like over the last 2 years, I've been really wanting to move here. And so it finally just the stars, the moon, and the sun all aligned and it happened. But nonetheless, the Venus party was still scheduled. And I'm like, well, we're going to make it happen. So we drove out here, moved me in, was here for a week, absolutely not settled in.
No.
And then I picked up and I went back to California for another week because we had two
The
things.
show,
Yes, we had
the
clients
party,
competing.
and then the show was the next week. So I believe, I feel like I didn't write them all down. However, I think there was like 6 girls that competed in that show. Obviously, everybody's favorite, Insta Awesome, competed as well. That show was so much fun because it was in our town.
Ugh, it was
In our
great.
town. Like literally
great.
could have stayed home, didn't have to like get a hotel room, which trust me, it's not terrible. I like doing that. But
Yeah.
it was just fun. And then when we went, because after those ladies are done competing, we always go out and celebrate with them. And we got to go out in our own stomping grounds.
Yes. It was awesome. I really hope they do it again next year in Modesto. So shout out to Spectrum Fitness Productions because they put on a really great event. That was fantastic. It was probably one of my favorite shows they've ever done. Just the production, and it was at the Modesto Center Plaza, Doubletree.
Right. It's connected to Doubletree. Modesto Center Plaza is where the room is. The theater.
It was
Whatever.
awesome. And
Yeah.
then a lot of our girls were able to pass out trophies, which was cool. I was backstage handing out trophies. That was such a fun time. I just love that. They really enjoyed it, like seeing their coaches give them their trophies. It's just like such an awesome moment. It really is.
Yeah, everybody did really well. They all placed. We had 2 girls that was their first ever show. They also did awesome. So that was super fun. I feel like every time we do a show, it's always like a little bit of a kick in the pants to like give you a little bit of motivation.
Yeah,
So that was really fun.
it was a good time. And it was cool to see Kelly and Vanessa, who are 2 gals that are diehards over at the studio, who have gone through the Goddess Body Project
Yes.
2 or 3 times. I want to say Vanessa's done 3. And I don't think they set out to compete when they started. It just
No, not at all.
kind of happened.
This is what I tell people all of the time. It's like, they're like, well, what if I want to compete? And I'm like, okay, well, you need to start doing the things. So the Goddess Body Project is the first place to start. And then once you're doing those things, it just kind of rolls into prep on accident, on purpose. It's like, well, I'm already doing all the things. Why don't I just continue and keep going?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I feel like that's what happened to me.
I feel like that is what happened to you. And because we got you ready for your wedding and then we got you ready for show.
Oh, yeah.
but I feel like they are like super pumped and they want to do it again.
Yeah, no, Kelly, as far as I know, because I do train her in the studio, she is in prep again. And also, Vanessa is not competing again this year. That our little Chiquita needs to grow. So she's eating all the things and lifting all the things. I'm sure she does not weigh very much. And I had her squatting 205 a couple of weeks
Amazing.
ago. So I'm
Amazing.
excited about that. It's fun
Nice
for
job,
me in there.
Vanessa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is great. I love it. I'm not in the studio anymore. Obviously, I haven't been for a couple years now, but it's so cool because there are so many girls still from when I was in there as a trainer, training clients that are still coming, and just seeing their evolution is just awesome. So much fun.
So I've been doing the programming in the studio mostly for like glute day, all the days, right? These girls are getting so damn strong. Like literally, they're hip thrusting easily 300 or more. They're squatting in the 200s. It's wild. It's
Yeah.
crazy to watch. And it's so fun because I'm like a little bit, I like to hurt them a little bit. However, my favorite part is, especially even I have a newer girl that I had yesterday, and she was like, I can't do that. And I was like, yes, you can. She's like, no, I can't. I go, just trust it. You might like it. And by the end of the session yesterday, she was like, thank you so much for pushing me. I had no clue that I could do any of that.
The thing is, like, they don't need to know that they can because we know that they can, right?
100%. Yeah.
I know that there's a piece of that's like, you know, your body, and I understand that. But I think too, when you go into a new type of training or you're working with trainers who have, like, Amanda's been watching people move their bodies for how many freaking years, same with me, that we
Love it
know,
now.
like, a skilled personal trainer can really see your level of exertion and how strong you are. And you maybe think like, I always do 12 reps with this weight, but it's because you haven't had the,
Somebody pushing you.
push from a
Yeah.
trainer.
I mean, if you're not sure, like say you are training by yourself in the gym and you're like, I don't know if I could go heavier. I always ask my ladies, I say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard was that? And they're like, what do you mean? I go, well, a 10 is you almost pooped your pants. So if you didn't almost poop your pants, you could probably go a little bit heavier. And as that B, don't feel like you have to go for a number. Go for feeling, let it feel all the things, and then make your assessment on if you think you can go heavier or if you need to go lighter, because maybe you're going balls to the walls heavy and you're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to feel my glutes, but you're feeling your quads.
Yeah.
Back the weight, pull back the weight. Don't be an ego lifter. Your
I
butt is
know.
not going to grow that way. Okay.
No, just your ego.
Yes.
So we went through the show. Let's move down the timeline. So this isn't a 4-hour podcast because there's so much we have to update them on. We did spend the first like 40 minutes getting the tech figured out, but it's fine.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So from there was July, right? I am so excited with some of my girls, like some of my competitors, even my lifestyle clients. I had Miss Liz. She competed recently, lost over 50 pounds with me and completely different with her body now. I'm like, wait, how was that even the same? How did we do that?
I know.
So
I saw that.
I'm just super excited about how a lot of these girls are changing. And what I'm realizing a lot more too is because as we've gone through this, we know all the things, we know what it takes to compete. But a lot of people are like, oh, well, I want to compete. And it's like, okay, are you sure? Because I was talking to Erica yesterday, one of my other clients, and she was like, it was so eye-opening to get onto the Goddess Body Project and be like, oh, I have to drink water. Oh, I have to wear a step tracker because I need to know how many steps I have. I need to get sleep. I have to prep my food. Like it seems like a lot in the beginning, but she said, she's like, as of right now, she's like, all of that is just second nature to me now. So it's not even, that's not the hard part anymore.
Yeah. And it's eye-opening. And I think I've talked about this in a couple like recent episodes where I'm like, when you start the first time you do something like that, right? You sign up with a coach or you do any of that. It's like, oh, you're like, okay, there's a lot. And sometimes it could be overwhelming and some girls are like ready for it. But when you nail down the basic things, right? Like you and I drink water as a default, right? Like we get activity because it's a default, a step, right? Like steps and things like that. But then when you finish and you've nailed down those particular habits,
Yeah.
then you fight the new boss on the next video game, right? It's like,
Yes.
okay, well, that was really good this round. But now my snacking is a problem.
Right.
Or I'm drinking too much on the weekends or whatever. And then you have to like, your life like that. But then you figure out, right, what you need to do to kind of level up and go to that next sort of level if you want.
Right. Well, I think this actually goes to say a lot of is it's like, okay, somebody signed up for the Goddess Body Project. Obviously, it's a 3-month program, 90 days, and they think that their whole everything is going to change in 90 days. So that just goes to show like a lot of these women have done more than one round of the Goddess Body Project because they get those basics knocked down and then they get the next thing that needs to get knocked down and then they continue and continue. And it is the evolution of a lifestyle that I don't think people actually realize needs to happen.
Damn, that was a mic drop. That was so good. It's so true.
Sorry.
It's so true. And we're starting the new round in just a few days. And tomorrow is our kickoff. And we won't be opening it again and running it until end of January, right?
Right.
So this round is is the biggest round we've ever done. We have almost 100 people between
Crazy.
the in-person and the online. And we still have a couple days and people always enroll at the last minute. So we'll get like a few more stragglers, but I am so juiced about this because the last round, the online girls freaking crushed. Like they crushed. I don't know if you saw the thread in my private Facebook group, but the thread in my private Facebook group was so amazing because there was a new woman in there. And I don't know if she thought like I don't go in there, but I'm in there like multiple times per day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And she posted a question. It says, has anyone done her programs or something like that? We'll put it in.
Absolutely saw this. And I was like, in my heart, like I'm not laughing at her, but I'm laughing at the question just because obviously we do the programs. We've been doing the programs for years. And all of the comments were our clients showing befores and afters, saying how amazing it is. And I was like, holy shit, the Venus tribe came out of the woodworks for that question.
There was so many. There was so many. And like at first, like a few people chimed in and I was like, I love you. And then I was like, there are some really incredible stories. Like I'll tag them here. They can share if they want, zero pressure. And then it was just like it was phenomenal. So
it was like a receipt.
It was like a CVS receipt, right?
Yes.
When you leave
All the
Walgreens
coupons
or CVS.
and everything were coming.
Yeah, but it was awesome. So if you were one of the goddesses that left feedback just organically out of your heart, like you're the best. I appreciate that. It was awesome.
I mean, I feel like they know that like they have a little piece of our heart. It's because honestly, let's be real, right? You need a coach that you can relate to, that you feel comfortable with. And as a coach, we get to know these people. We know their lives. We know their families and how they're doing and what they're going through. And yes, I'm still your coach, but I also feel like I'm a part of your family as well.
Yeah, it is. It's also like when they get to a point in their life when something comes up and they have to like pause coaching or they're like, hey, it's just not like stuff's like popping off because life gets lifey. Everybody has stuff that goes on.
No, I have a couple of clients where they're like, yeah, my twins are going to college. Okay. I got to scrimp somewhere. She's like, you are the last thing I want to lose. I go, I get it, girlfriend. Like I've taught you the things. Keep doing what you're doing. And when you can, come back if you need me. I always got a spot.
Yeah. And we stay connected and it's really cool to watch online and they still remain cheerleaders and it's fun. I love it.
Yes. I always say, don't be a stranger. Okay.
All right. So let's shift gears. Let's go ahead and dive into a little bit more of Vegas talk here for the next few minutes. So if you're interested in either coming out and visiting and you're like, what's there to do? You just think of the Strip. There are a lot of other things to do. I've been experimenting with a lot of like local vibe stuff. I actually prefer to stay off the Strip. But when my besties were here, we did some really fun stuff. So let's talk about what I felt was like the most fun.
Obviously, I was there from Wednesday to Wednesday. So it's like, okay, don't worry, glitter will make plans. Whether you want to go or not, I'm making plans. So I'm looking up all of the strip clubs and all of that. So I end up finding out that there's like this local deal that if it's on a Monday, you can get bottle service for $200. There was four of us. So in reality, that is like chump change. And it was the funnest thing. But in the reality, in the beginning, right? When we walked in, nobody was really there.
No, it was desert. It was like
The ladies,
tumbleweeds rolling through.
the dancers, most of them were like sitting on their phones, blah, blah, blah. But obviously we got there a little bit early. So we had a table, we had a bottle service and all of that. And just kind of sitting there, we were just kind of checking out the vibe. And if you guys have been around for a long time, you know that we pole dance as well. So when we go to a strip club, it's not like I'm going to go look at strippers. I mean, yes, I'm going to look at them. However, I feel like we have a little bit of expectations of what we want to see. So we're sitting there and, it starts to pick up, more people are coming in. So the girls are getting on the stage. And I think the best part about it was the girls that we talked to while we were there.
Yes, because we got like the 411.
We got all the tea because we're like curious, like, how does this work? How do you audition? How do you come in? Like, obviously, I'm assuming that it's the same thing in Vegas. Like, you need a dancer driver's license, right?
You do. Yeah.
You have to have a permit to dance anywhere, honestly. I mean, at least California and Nevada. So that's the one thing. And then we're curious as to like, how do they do the auditions? So that was kind of your topic a little bit more when you were talking to her. What did you think about that?
So let me just start by saying we pole danced for many years, like over 10 years, right? Like, yeah. And in fact, when I moved here, I actually found a pole dance studio because I wanted to get back into pole dancing for myself. I've never been able to dance as a student without any other agenda of like, I need to remember this combo. I need to go back and I need to teach it to the girls. It was like, this is for me. So we have a fascination with exotic dance and sensual movement. And it's been a huge piece of like my journey in becoming the boss bitch, if I'm being honest. So we have a mad appreciation for the girls that can get out there and actually do it as a form of, that's how they make their income. So we wanted to go, we wanted to support, we wanted to like see these awesome girls, talk to them, just be in that fun environment and just have girl time, right? So when I was talking to one of the dancers, she sat with me for quite some time and it was her first night. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I have her phone number. Okay. Like she's like, hey,
like Dallas or Dakota or something like that. I don't remember.
I think it started with
the
T. But she found out that we pole danced and she was like, I really need to learn tricks. And I showed her some videos of like stuff that we do. And she was just like, please take my number. But it was really cool. She was saying that the auditions, the way that they ran at that particular club was that when you went in, you didn't get to pick your song or your music. You needed to bring an outfit. I think she said 2 outfits. And they have a pole in the back or like a room there. And then the manager comes back there and basically says, okay, you get to dance for 2 songs. And based off of that is whether or not you get hired. And then as a stripper, you have, well, as an exotic dancer, I hate using the word stripper, but as an exotic dancer at this club, you get to pick your shifts. And we talked to multiple different girls and they were basically telling us their strategy.
Or girls that came in. So one of them doesn't even get on the pole. She just works the floor, which I was like, oh, okay. And the best thing was is she was the first one that came to talk to us. And then I think that opened the floodgates to where people were like, maybe these girls are kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was really fun. And we got to like strip cash or stripper cash. Or I don't know. It's some exchange for cash. And then it actually is like, gives them more money or something. I can't remember. Something like that. Or our dollar, like the cash gives you more stripper bucks or something like that. Anyways.
Correct.
One of the girls was sharing a story about how, because I was being incredibly observant, right? I'm watching like, how is this going down? How are these like, how are the girls interacting with the patrons? And I was noticing for one particular gal, do you remember at the end, the gal with the beautiful like Hispanic girl with the long black hair, she came and sat by me at some point and she was fantastic on the pole.
Yeah.
And she
She
came
was our favorite.
yeah, she came and sat and talked to me, and she said that she usually does like a doubles with like another gal, and they have like a whole thing, and they usually like, make a lot of coin.
Yeah.
And then one thing that Crystal was noticing was that one of the bouncers was coming up to her stage and collecting her cash for her so she could just prance off the stage and
She
be
didn't
like,
have to get it all up
be
and
like,
put it in the bag.
thank you. What is a butler's name? Like, thank you. I don't know, some fake butler. Thank you, Mr.
Nice.
Belvedere.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
and so they would collect her money. And so we asked her about that. And she said, well, if you treat the actual like security and the bouncers really well, they'll look out for you. They will let you know if like high profile clients come in, they usually will steer them towards you. So she says that she takes care of them. She tips them. And same thing with the
Because
DJ.
she takes care of the DJ and everything, all of that. So that was amazing. But so one of the girls that we went with, it was her first time, right? So she's never been to a strip club before. And I was like, I got you, boo. Watch this. So at this particular club, usually when you go to a strip club, there's chairs already around the stage. This one was not like that. It was like the stage didn't really have any chairs around it. However, when we first walked in, we asked like, what are the rules? Like, how does this go? And basically the first girl came on and I was like, all right, well, here we go. So I just rolled my little chair up there and I started tipping them and all of that. And eventually one of those girls came up to us and was like, thank you so much for coming up and tipping us. You got all of the other people to come up to the stage and tip us as well. So it's like, we're girls, we're trying to like make everybody have a good time. So it was just as weird as it felt when we walked in there as a group of 4 women in a strip club. It ended up that we were the most popular people in that whole establishment.
We had
Even
like
when we
5
left.
strippers hanging out with us.
Yes.
They were just
Yes.
chilling with us. They were like, these guys are lame. You guys are so much more fun. We're like, yes, come hang with us, besties.
And then when we were leaving, the main manager, remember he came up to us and he was like, what am I doing with these boss bitches in my club right now? And we looked at each other. We're boss bitches. Okay.
Yeah. It was a good time. We had a really fun time. We definitely need to do that at like the different clubs, right?
I want to try all of them for sure.
So for reference, we went to the Crazy Horse. And what Amanda failed to mention is that part of the deal at the Crazy Horse is that, at least on this particular day, is that they actually had somebody come and pick us up and also bring us home, which
Correct.
was Miles, I believe is his name, because I saved his card. He was a super nice guy. And that was fantastic because we didn't have to worry about an Uber or drive and be out and about and somebody have to be the designated driver. It was great. So
I would
shout out
say-
to the Crazy Horse. If you
Yes.
want to go to an amazing strip club, I did my research. I wanted to find like the top rated one. That is one of the top 3 that I found here in Vegas. And it was great.
I feel like we are definitely going to be doing that again when we go out there in October. So
Yeah.
we'll have to save a day for that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go to the Hustler this time because apparently they have 2 levels. They have
No. Okay, listen, I've been
Yeah.
there and I've been
Okay.
on the pole. They let you dance on the stage at one point, but their stripper poles are 2 stories tall.
damn. Yeah. That's like
So
a
cool.
30
And then-
foot pole.
So also at Hustler, men are not going to care about this, but I don't know how many men listen to our podcast. But the upper floor is the 3rd floor, and that is where the men are on the weekends. So when I did this a long time ago, we did the upstairs first. The guys did a little bit of a show, and that was fun. And then we're like, okay, cool, we're done with you. We're going to go downstairs. And we were downstairs for another, like, you never know what kind of time it is when you're doing those kind of things. So that was also a really good time. I feel like there is a couple other ones too that we should maybe check out at some point.
Yeah. So when Amanda says men, there are male dancers.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a cool thing.
Magic
So
Mike-esque.
yeah, like if you come
situation.
with like a group of couples or you're doing like a bachelorette and bachelor party situation, it looks like it could probably be like a one-stop shop destination if you want to, if that's your vibe. But
You're fancy.
so
Figure that out.
why do we feel like a lot of times that there are women that feel like insecure about that whole experience?
Thing that I think about it is it's taboo. And then when you think about exotic dancers, you think that they're perfect. They're beautiful. They're amazing. Their bodies are just amazing. And I think this is something that we did not touch on, is that every single dancer in that club looked different. There was some thicker girls, there was some thinner girls, there was like big boobies, no boobies, there was huge booties. And I think the one thing that a lot of people fail to realize, because obviously we're going to tear ourselves apart as it is, cellulite is normal. Even exotic dancers have cellulite. So if you really dig on yourself about that, it's a part of life. I think it's just people don't talk about it enough. And so it's an embarrassing kind of a thing that we have as women, that we let that get to us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a deep topic, but I just thought I would at least mention that I noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like obviously we're not in the business, but we've danced before. So we have a little bit more of a confidence about us. But I'm going to say that is a lot came from dancing, honestly.
It's almost like some people don't want to start like coming to us or working with us until they lose some weight, but you actually have to do the thing to like lose the weight, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing. I think, at least personally, is like, in order for me to have built the confidence, that I had to do the thing that was going to give me more confidence. And the only way I was going to do it is if I put myself in a position to be uncomfortable, and the repetition of it. And I feel like pole dancing was huge when it came to that. Like, you don't believe you're sexy and you don't appreciate your body, or like all that stuff. But when you start pole dancing, it just happens. If you let go, you just fucking let go, right?
Close your eyes.
Yeah.
When in doubt, touch yourself.
Pretty much. Touch yourself during your pole dancing.
But yeah, I mean, that goes with anything. That's not just pole dancing. But, if we go back in my day when I was 280 pounds, I needed to lose weight. But, everybody's like, oh, you can't lift weights until you lose weight. No. The very first thing I ever did was get a trainer and start training my ass off.
All right. So the moment you've all been waiting for, probably not really, but we are going to talk about our current status when it comes to where we're at, not only physically, but also mentally around. Amanda's like, you didn't tell me I was going to have to talk about feelings, but our process and our thought process around getting ready for the Angel Competition Bikini fashion show. So before we open up that book, I would like to say that Amanda and I'm speaking for you, but Amanda and I essentially decided that we wanted to do something different, but we needed a goal. And at least the place that I know I'm at, I am not interested in competing any longer, but I feel like I just needed a little something. I've always been goal driven. The whole reason I even started this entire business was because I had these like mini little challenges and goals and things that I had signed up for. And I'm human, she's human, just like the rest of y'all. And sometimes we need a target that pulls us forward to kind of get back into our mojo, so to speak, or at least our alignment.
For me, well, I think for you also, is it can't just be like something easy, right? I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to Vegas in 8 weeks. I need to lose weight. I ain't going to do that.
No.
I ain't. No. I know I ain't. Okay. So this is a bigger thing. And I think having this goal has definitely shifted our mindset on what we were doing. I think something's funny that people don't realize is I'm 5 foot, you're 5'4"
and a half-ish.
Let's go. And we always weigh the exact same weight.
Yeah, it's usually within like 3 pounds. I know. It's usually within like 3 pounds, which I don't even know how much you weigh right now. So we'll save that for a minute, but we'll talk about, let me give a quick debrief on the Angel Competition Bikini fashion show. So it is a non-judged experience, and it's put on by the Angel Competition Bikinis, their entire production. And they are the biggest suit manufacturer for competition bikinis in the world, at least at this point, at the time of this recording. And they decided to just start this entire branch of their business, which are these fashion shows. So any woman can go on stage and not feel like she has to be stage ready or shredded to be able to partake. Because let's be real, a bodybuilding show, even if you're an amateur, there is an expectation if you do want to place well and essentially want to get rewarded, that you have to look the part. And so that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I know for myself. And so we wanted to do something that was different. And honestly, I wanted to use it as an experience to share my journey and also inspire other women who maybe have always thought about competing, but they're scared. And this is a great thing to set yourself up for, to see if you'd even like it, to see if you could stick to a process to even do a fashion show, right? Because if you struggle with that, you are definitely going to struggle with a competition prep.
I think the one thing about this too is I've talked to some girls that have already done this before. And they're like, it is so amazing. The community is awesome because obviously we're not competing against each other. And then also it's like there's two ends of the spectrum. Obviously, some people are going to diet for it. Some of those girls probably are going to compete the next day or whatever. But I also know that there is a point where it's like some people don't even diet for this. They love their bodies. They want to get out there. They want to have a good time. And the camaraderie of what is going to happen there with all of these women is what I hear the best part of the show.
Yeah, most definitely. So with that, I know I'm just going to share quickly because this can be like I said, a really long podcast. But before I moved to Vegas, I had moved away from Modesto and I was actually living in a town called Livermore. And I was like, I want to move out of Modesto and I wasn't ready for Vegas. So I moved into Livermore and it was like slowly ripping the Band-Aid for me to actually like do a big girl thing and like move to an entirely different state. But while I was there, I really just had a hard time getting footing with my routine. And so part of the draw for this for me was I needed a target. I needed something, and I could not see myself putting myself through a contest prep again. At least I have felt like that for probably the last couple of years. So I thought this would be a great way for me to teach women through the process, like the moderation approach, the I'm not going to kill myself to do this approach, and also make it part of my lifestyle. So that was my whole shtick.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the one thing that you told me, and I was like, okay, let's do it, is I did not have to eat cod for 8 weeks. And I was like,
remember that.
Gold, let's go. And I think, honestly, I'm going to be real. Like in the beginning, it was hard. I was like trying to get back into that grind of making sure that I was eating well and all of that. And it's not easy, especially if it's something that you've been in for a minute, because at that point we were going out to dinner like once, twice a week. Now it's not like we were smorgasbording all the things, but it's definitely gives you a point where it's like, okay, I know what I want to look like when I get up there. So how do I reverse engineer that to get there? And I think it's definitely been a lifestyle for me as of now, because one thing that people are probably going to lose their minds on is I have not tracked any food in 2 months.
What? Hopefully she can grab that as a thumbnail. What?
What? Yeah. So I know like the thing that I really feel comfortable about with this is that I've been doing the things forever. Well, not forever, since I started this. And I know what I need to do. And I know I can look at something and know exactly the macros. And so it's giving me the freedom to trust myself to eat well without having to feel like I need to be tracking every morsel that goes into my mouth, not going out to dinner with my husband or my girlfriends. And it's been it feels really good.
I love that. That makes me so happy right now to hear you say that. We haven't had like a really like chat in a minute because her and I are both
catching up right now.
Yeah, we're catching up. You guys are seeing like real-time reactions, honestly, because Amanda is she's an incredible person, but also she runs my studio for the most part with everything. And she runs 100 miles an hour. And her and I are like-minded Tasmanian devils, just at different speeds sometimes. So the fact that she is finding this nice sort of balance, and it's not going to be perfect, but it is, that makes me very happy for you. I love that.
Let me be honest. I ate some pizza last night and it was delicious.
See, but you appreciated every bite of it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be mad at that. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm chubby today at all. I'm going to be like, you know what? That was my little good time for food. And that's it. But I think we've got about 5 weeks left.
Yeah. We've got about 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Let's talk about what our goals were, right? So we had loosely said, oddly enough, that
we both wanted to be 145 pounds.
Yes.
But what I did is I went back and I looked at my check-in photos and I was like, I liked my body there. I'm happy about that. And then that's why we chose wherever we were at, right?
Yeah.
So in June, when you moved to Vegas, I was 173 pounds.
We were living our best life right there.
The best life.
Yeah. I mean, it was not in our best interest, but
I feel like this is something that actually might help people is that they look at us and they're like, oh, you must be perfect all the time, blah, blah, blah. And like, what? I'm sure people don't say that about me, but we have our times where we're not doing all the things either. However, what we did really notice is that we did not feel great.
Yeah.
Training was hard. Breathing was hard. So it was like, okay, what can we do to kind of snap ourselves back into shape? And this was the way to do it.
yeah. And I feel like I kind of was kicking and screaming about it a little bit because I knew that we're busy. And I knew a huge piece of my puzzle was that I was not eating consistently. Therefore, in the evening, I would eat way too much. And I was just kind of like, my whole routine was out of balance. And I thought, well, what better way to show women that even when you're busy, you got to you can figure that shit out, right? I can't use that as an excuse and then tell women you can do it. Busy is not, So even with you running around and doing all the classes and sessions and then taking care of yourself and all that fun stuff, we've been managing to get it done. So you started at you said 173, and that was in June. And let's talk a little bit about your loose strategy. So let's talk about what your exercises look like, and then we'll go into your nutrition, I guess.
Well, I feel like a lot of the times, if you're thinking, okay, as somebody in prep, you need to work out 6 days a week, you need to do cardio all of the time. And that did not feel good to me when we started. I was like, I can't be doing all that. So
You tried. I feel like you went like balls to the wall.
for a little bit. For
Yeah,
like
because that's
2
your,
weeks.
yeah,
For
because,
like 2 weeks.
yeah.
And then I was like, this is too much. In reality, I was just running myself into the ground. However, the thing that we pulled back, right? We were like, okay, let's think about this. One, I get over 15,000 steps a day easily, sometimes 20,000. And
No.
so I had to kind of think about it, right? I'm like, okay, if anything, I want to get at least 3 days of training a week. Okay, that's my goal. That's been my goal since June. And sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Okay, so I'm still not perfect, but I feel good. And then with cardio, as of this last week, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't do 0. However, I would like to get in 3 days a week would be fine for me. So in reality, 6 days of moving, I move a lot anyways. But in the beginning, when I was tracking my macros, it almost was too much for me at that point. So that's why I was like, let's pull back a little bit. You know what you're doing. You know what you need to eat. So how can I do this to where I don't feel like I'm trying to pull my hair out? So basically what I've been doing is eating almost the same things most of the days, just in different scenarios or different ways. A lot of it, we have a company here in our town, Big Kitchen. I love them. They deliver straight to the studio most of the time, and I could just pick and choose from there. And then also I've been on a breakfast sandwich kick. So yes,
Love
you can
it.
eat bread. Yes, you can. And they've been getting those little laughing cow wedges.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with those right now.
I love cheese. So that is like hitting me right on the spot, which feels really great. And then in reality, I'm going out at least once or twice a week for dinner, and I'm still having some drinks. Okay. So it's been a good balance.
So what
For
you're
the most
saying is you're doing the Goddess Body Project.
Oh, wow.
That's basically what we're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
in a nutshell, if we're being honest, it really
I
is.
mean, it is 100%.
It's my program. It's my fucking program. We're doing my
You
fucking
put it in
program,
here
okay?
and then it's stuck.
The problem and why I laugh about this, because you'd be like, I'm sure people are like, well, why aren't you doing it to begin with? Is because we're a little fucked in the head, because we became bodybuilders, we became competitors, and that becomes, if you want to be good, it becomes an obsession that you have to be hyper focused on every single thing that you do. You become a newborn motherfucking baby. You
It's an
gotta get enough
identity.
sleep. You got to get enough water. You got to get enough rest. You got to get recovery. You got to get massages. You have to eat every 3 hours. You have to get an excessive amount of cardio and you have to train 6 days a week. You got it. What else am I missing? Okay.
So basically, do the Goddess Body Project. Don't necessarily become a competitor.
But I feel like because we've been competitors,
It makes it
it's
difficult.
it makes it difficult because it's not hardcore enough, right? I'm like, it needs to be hardcore, but we're taking the right approach because even if we get to a point, because I'll talk about kind of where I'm at too, where we're in that deficit and we're a little bit hungry or whatever, we know that it's not going to be at that extreme level. And I feel like if I can stay in this space, that I can maintain probably within 5 pounds, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, where we're at now, is that what we're going to say? You've never even said where you were.
Well, you're okay. So you said your cardio, you talked about your training and your nutrition. So your nutrition is basically you are eating several times a day. So what is do you have it
So
pretty?
I'm eating 3 meals a day with maybe a snack, which is making me feel better. And in reality, obviously, I just said I'm not tracking macros, but I've elevated my fat, which has helped tremendously with my hunger. And as if you guys have been around for a long time, leptin Lucy, okay? Leptin is the hormone that makes you not hungry. We don't have it, okay? We've tested it. We don't have it, which is why the hunger is so heavy. So having those extra fats for me, at least right now, has made a huge game changer in if I'm feeling hungry or how long I stay full. Now, I know some people like to eat 5 meals a day, but that is for a purpose for the most part. If I'm going to do that, it's because I'm competing.
I love it. I love it. So that sounds like a very sustainable approach. I think the only thing that we both know tends to be that gets us off course, and I think that's everybody, honestly, is the nutrition piece of things. And
Oh, yeah.
we are navigating that so much better now. I honestly feel like the fashion show was the actual segue for that, at least for me, to just
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, okay, I'm not going to make myself crazy. So my starting point was about 158 pounds, I want to say. And I had actually got above that when I was in Livermore. I was probably in the 160s, somewhere in there, like 163, I think was my heaviest. Now, this is less for me about the scale. It's always less about that. It's more how I'm feeling. If I feel like garbage, if I feel like I don't want to train, I don't want to go to yoga, I just don't have as much energy, it affects my mood, all the things. That is really my driving purpose now. And also, yes, I want to look hot AF, of course. But that is usually my driving force for being a bit more mindful with my food. So I'm getting into the gym very much similar to Amanda, 3 days. I'm giving that myself as the max because I know adding on a fourth day, eventually it will catch up to me because I don't really need to be there a fourth day. If I go, it's just for cardio or core or something like that. But I am not weight training any more than 3 days a week. Now, something I want to also mention is that Amanda and I have built up our muscle. That's probably all we really need to maintain our shapes when we drop our body fat. If we like the shape of our muscles and things like that, we can get away with 3 days a week. Now, if you're newer, that might not be something that's feasible just quite yet until you build up enough solid quality muscle all over your body. So Amanda and I have also done our time, right? Like we've been in the gym 6 days a week for years on end.
Yeah.
So this is like maintenance for us.
Yeah.
So 3
Yeah,
days a
I
week.
mean, with it, we're not really trying to grow any more muscle, which, listen, it's not easy. So if you lift weights, you're not going to be buff like a bodybuilder. I promise.
Right, right. Yeah. And for me, I am just doing 3 lower body days. And generally on one of those days, I will throw in a set of shoulders. Yeah, exactly. I did, a superset of some shoulders, but I will go in and do core and things like that. Now, when it comes to cardio for myself personally, I'm honestly in the same spot as Amanda, 3 days. Now, I don't beat myself up if I don't get on the stair mill for 3 days, because one of the things that I'm really prioritizing is that I have to do something that I enjoy. And I really enjoy my training. That is like my soulmate style of exercise. That will
Right.
forever be my soulmate. But I also need to do other things too, right? There are other things that I need to do alongside what I want to do. So I know that I need to get in some cardio. I know that I need to get in some mobility and stuff for stress relief. So I will get on the stair mill for usually 2 days of the week. And then the third day is always going to be a yoga day for me, because that for me is my second soulmate. Okay. I'm in a poly relationship. It is weight training, it is yoga, and it is hot girl walking. Okay. So that is really that is my trio, is those. And it feels great. Like my body doesn't feel beat up. Yes, I'm sore, but it doesn't feel beat up. I feel really good.
I mean, I'm going to confess. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get back on the Stairmaster one time.
You've done it once.
Yeah.
What's funny
It does
is
not spark joy. Okay. I
it
would
does not.
rather walk. I would rather get on the Peloton, whatever I got to do. It The Stairmaster did not bring me joy. Okay.
Right. And I think that's so important, at least for anybody who's not trying to get on stage and you want to live a healthy and hot lifestyle, you want to stay lean, you want to drop body fat, whatever, is first of all, number one, you got to find your soulmate exercise. You got to figure out what that is for you. And
Right.
then you need to think about the things that you actually need to do, right? So my soulmate is weight training. That might be spin for somebody else, right? Like, I can't, I will die. Okay, great. Spin is great for you. It's working your cardiovascular system. It's also giving you a little bit of resistance on your legs. But what else do you need to do in order for you to be an optimized human? And also, if you have physique goals, that's going to be a part of it. So that's a whole different podcast. But
Yeah.
that's at least my blueprint, is I need to be doing something I enjoy. Now, I really wanted to get into pole dancing and have that be part of this, but it just has not been able to fit the,
The
the
time.
class times and stuff with
Yeah.
it's just not ideal.
It's
So
the same. I think I went for what, like 2 weeks? And it was just,
same, 2 weeks. We're like
the
twins over
time
here.
was just not quite right yet. So we're just going to keep trying.
Yeah, exactly. And then my nutrition piece of it, like I mentioned when I kind of first went into this, is like, I am not tracking macros. I refuse. I did it for well over 10 years. I'm not putting myself in that position because I understand. I think it's a great tool when you don't understand, and you need to understand, food actually counts with your nutrition. And part of that is knowing how much the calorie content is and
It serves
what
a
it's made of.
purpose for somebody. It serves a purpose for the people that are new to trying to get protein in, make sure they're in a calorie deficit. But that's like, because obviously we're not tracking. I don't want somebody to just be like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. We've put in the work, we've tracked for more than 10 years,
Yeah.
and we can look at a plate and know the macros. So if you are new, don't give up tracking. I know that sometimes it gets feel like a pain in the ass, but it's teaching you so much. And hopefully one day you could be like us and you don't have to track anymore.
Yes. And that has been, I was a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous. I'm like, can I pull this off? One of my friends in the fitness industry was like, losing body fat or losing weight, it's not an intuitive thing. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it. Okay. And it's working. Right. So my strategy is I get up, the first thing I do now is I've been doing a lot of like reading and researching on like cortisol, a lot more than I've learned in the past, and fasting and the negative effects on fasting and not eating and things like that. And so I immediately will have a protein shake, and I have like my little protein shake concoction, and it has creatine, glutamine, collagen, NAC, and inositol powder. And this has been instrumental on just so many levels. Like when I get into the gym and train, I actually feel so much stronger. I am like, how was I not doing this before? Right. I was just getting up and drinking some water and then just pounding back coffee and not eating until like 11 o'clock, right? For months on end. And now it's just been such a game changer. And then like my meals are like, after a few hours after that, I will have a breakfast and then lunch and then dinner like a normal person. And then I will always have some kind of bedtime snack right before bed. But one other thing that I like, Amanda was saying she's very keen on knowing that she needs more fats. For me, I know that I really love sweets. I love sweet things. And I have found that if I have more fruit in my diet, I crave sweet things less. And I make up these silly little rules for myself. So if it's nighttime and I want to eat the pantry, I think to myself, what whole foods have I not eaten today? And usually, like if I don't have an apple or I haven't had a banana or right now I have like peaches, I will tell myself, you can have this said other snack, but you need to have a whole food snack first. And if you're still hungry for that snack, then you can have that snack. And listen, some days I have both. And some days I'm like, you know what? The apple with almond butter. And I also have a really gross like protein hack that, which you heard me talk about this, which is I have some light lemonade and I will pour it into a shaker cup and I will put like, I don't know, I'm guessing probably 8 ounces of egg whites. And then I will pour light lemonade and I will shake it up. Be careful if you try it because it will explode when you pop the lid if you're not careful. But I'll drink that just to get in some extra protein before bed.
So if you didn't hear that, she's drinking egg whites, you guys.
Pasteurized egg whites.
Refuse. However,
It's working.
works for you.
Yeah.
Get on down with it.
Yeah. And it's really just like my little extra insurance because I'm not weighing, I'm not tracking. And I'm certain if there's anything that is amiss because I am not tracking, I'm likely not getting in enough protein. So I know that because just of the nature of what I do, that protein is going to be the least likely macro to be stored as fat. So I'm always down to just pound down some egg whites. Okay. And it's fine. And I get over it. But that's basically been my strategy. Now, let's talk a little bit about where we're at now. Insert dramatic pause.
So
Have you been taking progress photos or you've just been kind of humming along? I have not in a minute.
you haven't? Okay. So I feel better about myself then.
Yeah.
I have not, but I'm really excited to soon because I am down to somewhere between 148 and 151.
I love that. That's amazing. Insert
So-
round of applause here.
Absolutely. I mean, another thing to touch on though is I did get my labs drawn. I made sure that my thyroid is good. And honestly, I think it was a huge game changer for bringing me back to getting into feeling better and now obviously working better as well.
That is amazing. I'm so happy. I actually have my appointment today because I've not had my thyroid meds and my testosterone pellet has definitely ran out. And it's been months, friends. It's been months. So today I have my appointment to get established with a new provider here locally. And so hopefully I'll be on track with all that too. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty similar right now. Like I saw 149 for probably 2 days and I've been floating between 149 and 152. So we're very much in the same spot.
I think the biggest thing that we've had been talking about is not necessarily the number on the scale that is making us feel any type of way. And I think the thing about us is that we've weighed ourselves every day for 1,100,000 years. So no matter what it says, it doesn't change the way we feel that day. However, we do have the goal of wanting to be down to like 145 just because we feel good there.
Yes. Yeah. And I will say that one thing that I have really, I guess, came to the conclusion over the last couple weeks is we have this arbitrary goal of 145, right? Just because it sounds good. It's a number. We're rolling with it. We know that when we dip under the 150s, we know what our bodies tend to look like around that time, right? I can already see some like striations a little bit in my shoulders, right? Bob, she's got her little vein, Bob, that she named.
Little buddy, come on.
He'll come back. And then I also know that there is a certain point when I start dieting that my glutes don't look the way that I like them to.
Correct.
But I know that I have to get down to a certain level for competition and I have to get to a certain level of leanness. And so I lose a little bit of my glute tissue, which is normal. When you lose weight, it is not always going to all be fat. Even if you carry a lot of muscle, even if you are an enhanced athlete, right? You take steroids or physique enhancing drugs, there is going to be some level of lean tissue that goes with your fat loss. So for me, when I hit 149, I was a little bit sad about how my butt was looking a little there. I was like, I don't know if I like that.
Right.
So I have decided two things that one, if I start to trend down to that 145 and I am not happy about how my glutes are looking, that I'm not going to be married to 145.
Right.
And number two is I am not willing to destroy all of the work that I have done on my relationship with food just to get to 145. That's
Right.
not absolutely, I have zero desire to do that, right? Like you and I have very similar stories. We have dealt with a lot of food issues and food obsessions and all of that. And I'd like to say that unfortunately, bodybuilding brought a lot of that out. And it tends to do that in a lot of people. And we were victims of that. And I am not interested in doing that again. So
No.
that's my soapbox spiel.
You know what I think we did not discuss about this fashion show is you can have props and you can wear like you can do a little costume-ish situation.
Yeah, that's the fun part because you can, if you want to hide certain things or you're not comfortable with everything hanging
Right.
out or whatever, you can do different things. There's girls that wear like elaborate like robes and different adornments on their body.
Things
Yes.
like that.
And I don't have my theme thoroughly picked out yet. I know you find that shocking, but Amanda is going to be the devil. The devil.
I'm so excited about it that I
Do you
have
have your
everything.
suit? Do you want to show us your suit? I don't have mine yet, so I'm hoping it's here in the next couple weeks.
So we did an unboxing with each other with my suit because I had it for 3 weeks and I still had not opened it. You get so much fun stuff when you do this fashion show. Like I have a backstage blanket. I have a sweet ass like jacket. I got a leggings. However, listen, I got big boobs. Okay. So
Yes.
this is gonna look a little aggressive. However, we got to make sure that the girls stay in. So here, I'll show this.
Dang, that could be a hat on your head.
That. Does that mean that my boobs are as big as my head?
They are as big as your head. It's fine.
So,
I love big boobs.
We're doing red. It's beautiful. I believe that this
Gorgeous.
is the Ashley K
Style.
Radiant. I could be wrong. However, it's red. It's got the AB stones, which are kind of like the rainbowy kind of stones. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I've got some other props with it as well. So I'm excited. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. We have like my family's coming out. My dad was like, "You're going to be on stage again?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they've been wanting to come out to Vegas. So they're coming out. My kids are coming out. We have some Venus girls coming out. Kelly Hand is coming out. I don't know who else. If
More
you
than
know.
a Venus girl coming out, actually. And I think we have some out of town ladies that are going to come out as well. So it's going to be super fun. I'm excited.
Everybody's invited. We wanted to do like a
Everybody's
Venus
invited, you
takes
guys.
over Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Venus takes over Vegas. Whether you're part of it or not, come on out. Vegas is always a good time. And it's going to be a big group of some Venus baddies. So
I feel like we should hit a strip club while everybody's out here.
yeah. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we have to. I mean, my parents aren't going, but you know, parents got to stay home.
I would die.
My
if your
stepmom would
dad-
100% go. She would
If your
promise.
dad was in a strip club.
I cannot see my dad at a strip club. That is not happening. Absolutely not.
Yeah, your stepmom would be fine. She
I
would
will be scarred
out
for
there
life.
with us.
I will be scarred for life. My father cannot come, but my stepmom would be a fucking riot. She would absolutely love that. She would just be like, "Oh, I like these. Oh, she's got the nice boobies." That's because she's got a very thick Azorian accent.
So adorable. That would be great.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really excited. I think that this has like re-inspired me. I know that for myself personally, just like with my content and just sharing all of my progress and things have been huge.
But what I was saying is you didn't share with the class about your suit.
Well, mine's a little bit different. I remember how I told you a couple weeks ago, I was like, if I am to the point where I don't like how I'm feeling in this diet phase and it's making me feel crazy, I do not want to feel. And listen, I know it's not a competition. However, I know myself personally, and I know that I want to feel confident on stage. And when I was getting ready for my consultation to design my suit, I went on their website and I'm looking at all the suits and I came across a one piece. And I went with a one piece. Are you frozen again? I'm like, are you just shocked? Or are you just frozen? Okay,
I
there
was
you are.
shocked. You
Yeah,
didn't tell me that.
you're frozen because I wanted your real time reaction, and now your face got frozen.
Oh,
And look at you with your double horns or your pitchfork. So I was on the call with the gal that does the little Zoom consultations, and I told her, I said, I absolutely love my body in all shapes, sizes, and forms. The other thing that we have not mentioned is I'm also emceeing the event. Okay. So
cool.
I'm going to be on stage. I'm going to be introducing, I don't know, I think 20 to 30 women. They're segmenting it out. I'm the last one to MC for the night or the day or whatever. So
Right.
I'm going to be emceeing and I'm also going to be in the runway. I'm also running 2 businesses. Okay. And I know that I don't want to put any more undue pressure on myself because it'll absolutely overtake my entire thought process. So I thought I'm really content where my body is right now. I don't feel like I'm interested in being any hungrier than I am right now. So, and I'm fine like this, right? Like I'm good. I'm really content with my physique. So I knew like if I choose the one piece, I'm just going to have a sense of relief of not feeling like I have to MC, I have to be on point, I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh my gosh, I didn't hit my target, right? And so I'm just good. It's very revealing, okay? However, I just know myself and I know that I will be able to wear that and rock the stage. I'm going to wear probably my buckle boots. It's going to be a moment, okay?
Love
So, but it is like all blinged out. But the best part, which I knew you'd be proud of me, is that it's leopard print. So it is leopard. Is it leopard? It's one of the fucking cheetah leopard. It's one of those. And it has got a very skimpy, like Brazilian bottom that goes like all the way up my butt. So it's going to be lovely. Yeah.
think
So
it's great. I'm wondering if there's going to be other girls on stage with a one piece as
I
well.
don't think so.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. I'm like, it's going to be different in a different way. And I feel like I'm probably going to comb my hair out and I'm going to make it an afro.
If y'all never seen her with an afro, you guys, it is a spectacle.
It's
That
a
is for
spectacle.
sure.
But yeah, I feel like I'm going to brush it out like I did on the beach for my beach photo shoot. We'll insert that photo here. But yeah, so I think I'm going to brush it out and then just have like I don't know, I kind of want to go with like a 70s glam like face and probably my knee-high buckles all the way down, pole dancing leather, pole dancing boots, which we also have a picture of and I can insert here. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it comes in and how I feel. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Love Store.
Yeah.
Have you been there here in Vegas?
No,
Oh my gosh, I need to take you.
you guys went when I wasn't there yet.
Yes. So the Love Store is a franchise of adult novelty things here in Las Vegas. There are plenty of them, but I really like the Love Store. They have really great like outfits and costumes and lingerie and pasties and pole dancing shoes, anything you can possibly imagine, they have. And the store's gigantic and it's like some of the cutest stuff. So I'm going to go in there and see if I can find anything to jazz up my outfit.
Funny thing is, my first suit was leopard,
I know.
and I still love that girl. Still like her.
Yeah, she's
Still my
sassy.
favorite.
She's sassy. Well, I think we did a great job just kind of giving everybody the rundown of updates. I mean, there's a lot of Vegas stuff that I didn't cover, but I might just do a full Vegas episode on like local things that I've been exploring and do a separate video on that. But yeah, I'm stoked. October the 12th. So if you are wanting to come out, maybe you just think we're cool chicks and you want to hang out with us, like we have some other cool chicks that are going to be there. We would love to have you come out and hang. We don't really know what we're doing just yet, but find us on socials. We'll throw you in whatever chat that we're going to be doing to get you all up to speed with what we're doing. But we have also, besides myself and Coach Glitter that are going to be on stage, we have Coach Erica, Coach Denise, and we have Insta Awesome. And then, did I forget anybody? No.
That's it.
But I will say I am in the WhatsApp group. Are you in that for the Angel Competition Bikini fashion show?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they have a WhatsApp group and there are like 3 or 4 girls from Modesto that are doing the fashion show. And I'm like, how are we not friends? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm Modesto local. I'm like, how are we not friends? You need to be
Yeah.
my friend. Well, I hope that this video was helpful for you in some way in terms of relating to two girls who are in the fitness industry who also are normal and we struggle with things just like our clients do, just in a different capacity. So we are 100% understanding of where you're likely at in your journey. Like Amanda said earlier, she was once 280 pounds. I've had my own ups and downs with fitness over the years. And so we love this shit. And this is just what we eat, breathe, sleep, and talk about all day long.
All day.
All day. If you're listening over the podcast, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. You know we love you, and we will see you on the next episode of Boobies, Bodybuilding, and Bullshit. Hopefully not 3 months delayed.
Also, give us a 5-star review.
We love that. Or subscribe if you like the content. I have a lot of great content over on the YouTube page that if you're struggling with your health and fitness, there's a lot there for you. So check it out.
Bye.
Bye.